Good evening, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. You know, and when I say we didn't find ourselves in the trunk of a ship, you know, it doesn't mean that the indigenous people over here should, hug and kiss the people who say that they did. Because if you really, really think about it, that story don't even make sense. And one of the ways that we always fall into getting tricked is we'll believe anything. Somebody can come to the African American community today and say, there's a such thing as Santa Claus. And the majority of the African American community would believe it. All the stuff that we've been taught through these years, none of it makes no sense. But we keep trying to, it do make sense. We keep trying to be a part of it. And as we try to be a part of it, we lose our identity even more. And we think that's okay. But I'm telling you, and you're going to find out yourself, it ain't. So what we want to riff on tonight, and this is important because it's going to the mainstream, is Dave Chappelle. Hold on one second. The phone is ringing. Let me get it. Sorry about that. Dave Chappelle. So I'm sure by now everybody has heard about what's going on with Dave Chappelle. And this is what it means to us. The masses who are out listening to these stories to control our lives. Because that's all it is. And if you look at people like Dave Chappelle and some other cats who are out there, you can say Cat Williams, David Banner, Kwame Brown, and there's some other sisters out there. They are really saying some things to protect us. But we've been twisted around so much, we don't even see it. That at all. So with this Dave Chappelle, why this thing is and what he's saying so far is really important, and I hope it's getting through to everybody. See, this LBGT community, they keep trying to think if you say something like, well, two men shouldn't be together because it negates life. See, that's important. It creates no life. That whole gay lesbian stuff, it has nothing to do, it's life. And we try to be like, oh, leave them alone. They don't know. Nah, cuz that ain't cool at all. Male on male, female on female. That's what we are to create life, especially when we getting so much life taken from us. And I don't understand how we keep going with this stuff. Like it's cool. You're gonna find out. Don't bitch and complain, because a lot of stuff that happens, we make it possible. And then always trying to come when it turns out disastrous, we always try to come out and act like, well, I didn't know, nobody told me. When since we've integrated, if you look at the dumb shit we have done, it'll blow your mind. And many, and I'm saying many, especially the people they put in front of you, act like, well, it's okay. We gonna be all right. We don't know. Huh? You just talking that black stuff. We're doing anti-life stuff, Then when we get blown up out of here, we mad. Well, they can do what they want to do. Yeah, they can do what we want they do, but we can't because we're the life people. We're the people where everybody over here runs over here to steal your life force. Guess what you do? I'm not saying you in the group. I'm saying the people who call themselves African American and whatnot. You have all these people coming over here trying to be you. You tell them they can do that, don't you? You tell them they can do whatever they want. Take your ass over to their country and watch what they do to you. But you always trying to bring everybody, trying to love everybody, trying to be with everybody, and you seeing what's happening. We don't even have to talk about it. You see what's happening. So the David Chappelle story is interesting because you have the LGBT community coming out speaking against him. And what did David Chappelle say that made them so pissed off? He said, when a rapper said, I'm going to kill this nigga, I'm going to kill this nigga, nobody says nothing. You say anything about the gay lesbian community, they go off like you came in trying to kill a whole family. And they do that because they know they're wrong. And if you get a glimpse, or if you start thinking they're wrong, you automatically go against them too. Because we all were born. We were all given a chance at life. Those people don't give people a chance at life. I know you say they can adopt, and you know what I mean. That don't work. You were born. Your job is to reproduce. That's every body on the planet. That's every animal on the planet. That's every tree that produces fruit. Somebody produced you. It's your turn to produce somebody else. That's how life is. That's how life is. And we try to get out of it. I ain't got to do that. I was talking to a sister the other day. She said where she's from, the men up where she lived. Now check this out. The men up where she lives, guys are in their 50s and 60s. Most of them don't have any children. What does that mean for them? See, we never look at it in a way that'll be cool for us. What happens when you don't procreate? So that's one of the ways you find out African Americans ain't African. I mean, so if they took all these Africans from Africa, why didn't their population suffer? If they didn't have nobody there to make babies. The African American doesn't think of that. He just does what he's told, right or wrong. Now, we're not trying to be assholes or nothing like that, but damn, y'all. You watching Afghanistanians getting millions and billions of dollars to come over here, and you can't even get fresh drinking water. And you do what you do. See, this is what gets me. It's just not Flint, Michigan who's having that problem. Everybody's having that problem. They put these pipes and all these plumbing things back at the same time in the early 1900s. You don't think the pipes are messed up in Georgia? You don't think the pipes are messed up in Tennessee? You don't think the pipes are messed up in Arkansas? See, when the African, I don't know. I didn't think of that. The African American doesn't think ever. That's what he was created for. You can be mad all you want, but this is the truth. Hopefully you will tell your children, they'll look at it and figure out some other ways to get through this, because last generations have not done it. We just had a couple of people come out, risk their lives to tell us some truths, and we've totally reverted away from it. We run to the people that tell us bullshit. Just lick them in the mouth and they telling you utter bullshit, and you don't ask them to explain it, do you? You just get mad when somebody asks a question about it. Hey, is that sister really American? Is she? She won't be. Sisters will come to her defense, call her sister, and call you an asshole for figuring it out. That's where the African American is today, right or wrong. See, children, grandchildren, they have a right to live the most comfortable, most prosperous way that you can give them. When you give them a bunch of bullshit, you're tripping them up. You're tripping them up. Imagine if somebody did that to you, and I'm sure many of us had that done to us. Till you start asking some questions. Ask questions. Ask your mom and daddy. Ask your grandmamas, your uncles, your granddaddies. Ask questions. Just don't take something somebody say because they famous and think it's real. It's dumb. You seeing all these celebrities today? What are they? They little hoes. That's all they do is push the agenda. And the agenda is to get the indigenous people out of the way. Now, if you're indigenous, I don't know how you don't see that. Maybe you've been pretending like you're a Hebrew, Moor, or whatever. So that's how we get out of doing stuff. We try to be these old fake stuff somebody wrote in the book, fake characters somebody wrote in the book. And we'll try to be that before we try to be our grandmothers and grandfathers. And those are the people that we come through to be on earth. We'll kick that to the curb and pick up some story written in the Bible, which is a joke. I mean, if by now, I'm sorry. And if anybody don't like it, I'm putting the link. I'm putting the link. So you can call and we can talk about it. You explain the Bible to me and don't give me no bullshit. Explain it. Explain why we should be following this for another 200 years. This is the kind of stuff we do. This is what we give our children. This is what we give our grandchildren. Many of you are about to start Christmas shopping and all that stuff. Where's your holiday? You the black man. You the first man on the planet. Where's your? How come you following people who dogged you out? Why you following their holidays? Why you following their ideology? See, come on, answer the question. Let's have a conversation. How come we don't do that? How come we don't do that? How come we don't, our grandmothers, our people who lived in a certain area, a certain part of the world, how come we don't high five them? How come we don't put forth information that they laid out? And they laid out a lot. Every state you go to, we see you. You say, nah, I don't want to be that. I want to be a Greek. And you will start pushing that on your people, on the people around you, acting like that's so great. Imagine that. Indigenous people pushing a foreign ideology in the land where their people come from, and they're the indigenous people of that land. Isn't that what the African American does? How many groups you got? How many different groups you got out there to break you up and to drain your power? How many groups that don't call themselves? They don't call themselves Accomax. They don't call themselves Chitamacha. They don't call themselves Kitawa. They don't call themselves Akanachaka. Many have never even heard of those names. That's how far we've gotten away from ourselves. So now you're about to have a country full, a lot, and none of us know how many immigrants have been coming over here in that time. But we do know you haven't been going to those countries. Why is that? How come African American doesn't go to these countries and live? A couple do. Some do. Some do. Some do. But what is it? Why does everybody want to come over here and get what you do? You ever think of that? But you don't want it because you try to be something else. So that's why when I have conversation with the Hebrew Israelites, my question is, why aren't you over in Israel teaching your people what to do? Never get an answer. And that's all these people who play all these games. These are questions I ask. Why are you playing games? But that's what everybody follows. There's a I really want to stick to this Dave Chappelle thing because it's very important, because they're trying to push this LGBT stuff on the people, especially on the children. Now they're going to try to push it on the elder people, like the Dave Chappelle, and get embarrassed, because a lot of us aren't going for it. I mean, really, why to push this stuff on indigenous people? All that's doing is helping you get out of here faster, and we don't see it. But when somebody brings it up, you get mad because that's the only thing you know how to do. No, is what purpose you have about as much purpose as doing that as you do sticking your head in the ocean and breathing, right? So the cat that David Chappelle, I don't think he has a beef. That they have a beef with him is this transgender. It's like David Chappelle say, you can say kill a nigga all day long and nobody says nothing. If you said the LGBT has on the wrong fingernail polish, you would think you raped a whole family. Trying to get you off the planet. And we don't believe it. Why would they do that? You just really check out how the so-called African-American Black Negro thinks. I mean, because they don't think, they just take orders. This dude is, and what Chappelle say? What is he telling us? The absolute truth. They're mad, then this is why they mad. Because they know this brother's telling the truth. And they know they fucking up. So that's why most people get mad. Most people get mad because they know they're telling you something and you're intelligent enough to figure it out, and you're telling everybody, so they get mad at you to try to cover up their shit. That's what's happening. All this stuff is simple, y'all. All this stuff is simple. So as a group of people, as a nation of people, there's a few things that we're going to have to learn in order for us to move through this. Okay. Well, I posted the link to the program in, and we have a brother on. So we're going to let this brother come in and hear what he has to say. What's going on? What's going on, Moreau?
What's up with you, bro? How you doing?
Man, what's happening? Everything is cool.
It's been a long time since I spoke with you, brother. I see you prospering nonetheless.
Brother, I don't prosper unless we all prosper. That's how I look at it. It ain't no fun.
That, my brother.
If we all ain't on it, brother, it ain't no fun. It's like what I went to this past weekend. Many of those people I've never seen before in my life, but they had a smile on their face that just spread through everybody. We keep forgetting that we're a part of a tree. We're all leaves on that tree. But many of us, you don't want to be that. So then what is the rep? Many of us will go assist other people. Will go help their people get here. You have Indians coming from India, bringing their mamas and daddies What does that mean? They're never going back. Guess what the Negro does over here? The Negro over here say he's an ancient alien person from India. That's what the African American does. We get drove. I mean, it's embarrassing. I'm starting to pick up. I'm starting to get it where a lot of people are starting to look, say, wait a minute, maybe this brother's saying something right. All I'm saying, check your people out. Check out when does a woman with 20 children, when does she pack up and start moving to California? That don't happen. Now, her kids may do it, but she ain't doing it. She got too many hands. She's not packing up 40 hands and moving somewhere. I mean, these are things that we should be thinking about. But we don't. We don't tell our kids. Our kids go out into the world completely naked. So yeah, brother. So what you want to share with us tonight?
Well, I just wanted to give a little bit of diversity to the concept of what Dave Chappelle really represents.
Okay, Rainstorm, I'm gonna be right there. Let me let this brother get his out. I'm gonna pick you up, Rainstorm. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. The first thing that Dave Chappelle opened that show with, my brother, was a Jew joke. And it was a profound Jew joke. It was something that was degrading the Jews, but at the same time uplift them, because he said it was an alien race that came to the planet and actually ruling everybody, and we call it Jew something. He made it a Jew joke. But here's the point that I want to make about this. Whenever you hear any of these actors or actresses that are given the green light to first make a Jew joke where you're kind of shitting on the Jews a little bit, that means he's going to do something worse to his own people. Because what he said about the Jews wasn't all that bad. But what he said about Martin Luther King and what he said about blacks, see the homosexuality and all the LGBT shit, that's a distraction. What Dave Chappelle really is doing is he has for some long. It was who was it? It was Al Sharpton and a couple of other no good black leaders that one time got together. They was about to assassinate him. They was about to have him killed because of the degradation that he was doing to Afro American character. Because he's a very talented comedian, but he cuts short. And what he said, now look, many of us are slowly coming into the knowledge that even though Martin Luther King might have been slightly on the tape, Martin Luther King kind of talked a little bit about indigenous rights and how we were actually here and how we always been here. I was listening to some old videos on Martin Luther King, and I was actually shocked. I'm so used to that I have a dream speech of little white boys and little white girls holding hands. That's what the white boy wanted us to hear. But that Negro was talking about a lot of other shit that we need to listen to today as black people, right? So when he did that little, I have a Martin Luther King shit, Dave Chappelle is a plant. And they're using the LGBT shit to distract us. As we get closer and closer to these folks in that contract, I'm constantly hearing about some kind of contract that's been ran out. And that's why they doing this COVID shit and all of this stuff like that. They supposedly not gotta give us our land back, but we have an opportunity to get ourselves back on top if we get our shit together. Dave Chappelle, I guess my opinion, he might be a distraction, and we should be careful that anybody that Jew gives millions of dollars to, and when Netflix won't even cancel his bitch ass, we got to be careful. Dave Chappelle is no hero of ours. That's my opinion, my brother.
I mean, that you from that context, you may be absolutely right. And I have no doubt about it because, like you said, the ones who have been getting it like that, they haven't been really good for us. So, brother, I want to thank you for calling. I want to get Rainstorm to pick up on that and get his
All
ideas
right.
on that. All right,
All right.
brother.
Peace.
Thank you, and don't be no stranger.
I
All right.
won't, brother. Peace.
All right. Rainstorm.
First of all, I'd like to say it's an honor and a pleasure for you allowing me to come up here and holler at you, bro. And
Anytime.
talk to
Anytime.
you know, I've been following you for a long time, and you're a great brother. Year after year. I mean, just keep it moving, man. You keeping it going,
Thank
and
you, brother.
no, you're more than welcome. But to piggyback off of what that brother was just saying, I kind of agree. You know what I'm saying? I like Dave Chappelle. You know,
Yeah.
but I think it's like one of those things, like kind of stay in your lane. Work with me now. It's like he's a comedian. You know, everybody's fair game when it comes to comedians, right? So it's like, okay, I can talk about fags, I can talk about whatever they be doing.
Right.
You know, he's not a politician. He's not, blah blah blah, right? So I get everything dude's saying, but at the same time, it's like every time one of us reached it, right when you're about to grab that ring, they cut your ass down. You know what I'm saying? Every fucking time. It's like, oh, everybody look when he did the black what's the name of it? The black supremacists. Everybody giggling and laughing. But as soon as he start talking about whatever, it's like, oh no, nigga, leave that part alone. You going too far.
Right. But you see how you picked up on that?
Yeah. Yes,
See,
sir.
you got it. See, you got it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
See,
sir.
and that's all I want for us to get what's being said to us, what's being done. I mean, through these Negroes, and you know who one cat I used to just I didn't worship, but I thought he was cool,
Who is that cuz?
and it's just mainly by the way he played. It was a cat named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a long time ago basketball player. When
Oh
I
yeah.
was a
Yeah. I'm up there. I'm 51 years old. I didn't mean to say my language, but go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, but anyway, now that I'm older, he's an asshole, dude.
Yeah, he is.
And so and so what I'm just trying to what want us to see is whatever these people are telling us, we got to think about what they're saying. So like with the Dave Chappelle thing, what this transgender person is doing, they're trying to get you to make it seem like they're cool, like they're all right.
You ain't lying.
And all I just want us to see that bullshit. Come on, that's what they try to keep us confused. And I'm liking the stance that Dave Chappelle is taking.
Okay, okay. And by the way, intentional one, check this out. Remember, Kareem was up there on the panel with what's our cat's name?
Jim
Jim
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah.
All them cats
Yes.
back in the '60s.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden you didn't flip the goddamn script.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like what the
Yeah.
nigga? What happened to you?
Right.
But go ahead, bro.
And so it's like the brother Moreau was just saying, these cats get, they play that role, but they're going to be used for something else.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with them on that. But yeah, brother, this whole area that we're in, it's really confusing a whole bunch of people, and I don't think that's in our best interest.
No, it's not, sir.
It's not.
It has not ever been.
It hasn't ever been.
It's just it's so foul and disgusting. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, follow it, but everybody, like you said, a lot of people, we're so distracted off of this, and that, and the third. It's like, I forgot all about that stuff. Until it popped back up, and then you're confused. And God forbid mention the babies. God fucking forbid.
Right.
They just looking like, what you say, Papa? Or what you say, Mama? They no, hell no. And that's why I love the way you talk. That's why I love a lot of brothers and sisters that talk like this. They be like, "Oh, you too harsh." No, fuck that. No, we ain't doing like grandma and grandpa used to talk. No, we ain't doing that bullshit. Let them niggas do that shit. And I said niggas. Dumb motherfuckers. You over there. We not gonna do that. We gonna stay on this like what's the thing they say? Stay on the same path. Don't venture off. Don't, we going right over here. Rest of y'all can do whatever the fuck y'all doing.
Right.
But go ahead, brother. I ain't mean to cut your water on nothing.
No, man, it's listen. Are we trying to be a viable part of life or what? Or are
Right.
we cool with just people coming over taking our life force? Because that's
Yeah.
what I'm seeing. I'm seeing on the West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington, you got, and even up there in Canada, you got Asians invading on that side. To the south, you got the Spanish people coming over here from Mexico, and they're not the Mexicans like the people over here. The indigenous people down in Mexico is some of our brothers and sisters. We don't even figure that out.
Right.
You got these Spanish people coming over doing whatever the hell they want to do. Who's the first ones in line to get what they got to give? We are.
Yep.
On the East Coast, you got them coming from Afghanistan, Africa, Europe, all over the place. And so we're being closed in. Are we thinking about that?
And no, we're not. To answer your question, no, we're not. Even though you are making a statement. But it's like we attack from all sides. And everybody from the West Coast, East Coast, up north, down south. It's like, okay, I just agree with you. Let's just do it this way. No, I don't agree with you. I'm at home. I cannot come in your house and go in your refrigerator. You can be like, nigga, what are you doing? There's no asking. And going back to what Phoenix said, you don't even wipe your feet on the rug. You just walk right in.
You just walk right in.
Just walk on in. And I'm supposed to be okay with that? For real?
Yeah.
Like, no, nigga, no. We don't, no, you don't do that. First of all, can I do it at your house? Let's say we go over to their countries, okay? As being an American. And American, look it up, right? Copper colored, all that cool stuff.
Right.
You cannot go to Europe, Africa, nothing. Them motherfuckers will look at you like you crazy. What? This how we do it over here.
Right.
They gonna check you at the door. At the fucking door. Like, well, I just thought that since I'm from over here, I could do this over here too. No, they're gonna check you. But we don't check them.
No, we don't. We gotta be in love with everybody. Let's brainstorm. We got another caller calling in, man. Let me go ahead and get to her.
Go ahead, brother.
Listen, don't be no stranger, dude. You call in anytime.
I appreciate it, cuz.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
All right.
The Acamax.
Hey, Kayut, Halito, Oseyo, what's up, brother?
So I know when I talk to you, I gotta say Kayut.
That's right.
We're having this conversation about this whole David Chappelle and how they're trying to push this LGBT agenda down our throats. What are your takes on it? Let me pull in JM Freehawk.
Mm-hmm.
You there?
What are your takes on it? Let me
cut down So what do you think about that? Because you the Acamac godmother. What you think of they're trying to push all this LGBT stuff down our throat?
Yeah, they just I got a lot of feedback. Somebody's listening to the broadcast while they got their mic open.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think about that?
I think it's all an agenda. It's an agenda it's a mechanism to destroy us, like everything else.
Yes, because this LGP thing is kind of like this COVID thing. It's just being pushed, and many of us just going along with it.
See, the thing about our people is that our community has always been accepting and full of a lot of different type of people,
Right.
But we don't make a big fuss over that. We're not trying to kiss everybody on the lips. We're not that kind of people. We accept everybody. We are very, we're good. We're good to people, but it's not like you have to sit up there and push it in people's faces, shove it down their throats, and make it a mandate. See, that's the thing about these oppressed people. They want to make everything a mandate. You have to do this. You have to accept that. What is that about? You know what I mean? What is that about? What you do in a bed should not have to be public knowledge. There should not be banners about your sexual activity. Like, why? I don't understand why it's so prominent in today's society where we're teaching our babies about it. Before they even understand what you are talking about, we're trying to push this agenda on them. That is not normal. That's not normal. It's not healthy. And it's destructive.
You have some of these young kids, they don't even know where their belly button is for. And we trying to push this sexual thing on them. What's up with that? And we really don't say nothing. You really don't hear from the people who have the mic. I mean, you hear from a few people. You hear this brother that's playing basketball that's saying he's not taking the jab. I hope that's giving people the impetus to start thinking about what these people are telling you. You have this guy this guy arguing with Dave Chappelle over this LGBT stuff. Dude, sit down. You don't even want to be you. And you trying to tell other people what to do? What? That's what gets me. Let's bring in JM Freehog now. See if he got his mic and stuff together. What? Mr. Freehog. Let's bring in JM Freehog now. See if he got his mic and stuff together. What's up, man? Hey,
Mike,
homie.
JM, you gotta turn off your program in the background.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, stand by. Let me readjust this. Stand by.
So yeah, Lisa. So that's what I'm seeing, and what I saw up there in the Eastern Shore of Virginia. These type things are trying to mess that up. Trying to make that all confusing, especially with the young folks. Now we're old enough to pick up and see how stupid it is, but it's like a deliberate attempt to just keep the youth confused. Do you see it that way?
I see it exactly that way. I mean, we know it. I know it's that way because like in our families and our communities, we've always had all different types of people who had all kinds of different sexual preferences or whatever, but it's never been the main topic of conversation. Why are you making it dinner conversation?
Right.
Okay. Remember we used to have dinner conversation where certain things you talked at the dinner table and certain things you didn't. They're making this dinner conversation. What you do in your bedroom has never and should never be dinner conversation. It's not that we hate you. It's not that we don't love you, but it's still not dinner conversation. And it shouldn't be any conversation for children, and it shouldn't be dinner conversation. When somebody comes of age where you have to have conversations about these things, you have those conversations about these things. But pushing it into children's programming, pushing it into every daggone commercial, including it in every facet of our lives, like that is a normal part of our lives every day, showing it in our face, like, yeah, we're promoting it. That's not normal. No. Because who you love and how you love does not need to be publicly exposed. Really, even with heterosexual stuff. Remember Lucy and Desi didn't even lay in the same bed. Do y'all understand that we are a generation, myself, Carrie, we did not even see married couples that were heterosexual in the same bed with one another. Okay. Now we got gay stuff all over the daggone place. How do we go from one extreme to the other so quickly? And why? Why? That's what I want to know, because were we okay? So this is what they're trying to act like. They're trying to act like if we don't show them everything, that we're ashamed of them. No, Desi, Lucy, nobody on the television or movies could be laid up together. Period. So why is it so daggone important? We see all kinds of graphic images of all kinds of sex now. You know why they did that? They were trying to protect the family. They were trying to protect the children. And let me tell you something. I, as a child, and now as an adult, I appreciated that G-rated life. I really did. I really feel like I was able to be a kid in my childhood. I was not overly exposed to no bullshit. I was able to just, everything was great. It was like a la-la land. And as a kid, you need that. You need to feel like everything is peachy keen, and it needs to be as mild and as easy so your brain can develop bit by bit. These kids that are molested and exposed to things, they're damaged adults. Because they're overexposed to things that their mind is not able to comprehend. So when we do put this information out there like it's okay and that children are supposed to consume this, we are damaging our children. We are actually inflicting pain, damage, and and harm on our children intentionally by doing this. Their minds aren't ready for all of that.
So why do you think
it's so to have a G-rated world? Give our kids back a G-rated world. It is not about hating on homosexuality. It's about wanting a G-rated world for your kids. And in the past, and all that has meant that you don't expose your kids to sex like that, period. Any kind of sex.
Well, okay, so but do you think those people who don't have any kids, who are not
they don't care about your children.
Right.
They want to treat your children like they're sexual objects is what they really want. What they really trying to get at is making your kid their sex partner. They want your kids to be exposed so they can say, yeah, and if I want to sleep with a 9-year-old, that's cool too. That's what they're getting at. That's what the aim of this really is. To make your children fair game. See, they're using, I'm going to be very clear. I do not believe that the LGBTQ understand that platform is being used for the pedophile. It is a jumping pad for the pedophiles, right? They're using this platform as a shield, so you can't say anything. It's a Trojan horse. So they're all piled into the LGBTQIA or whatever all the letters are, the alphabet crew, as a Trojan horse, so they can say, yeah, don't say nothing about what we're doing. We can do this. It's wrong. Don't talk about no LGBT. And it really is a Trojan horse for the pedophiles to come into our living rooms, to come into society and say, you know what? Any kind of sex is okay, and you better not say a damn thing about it. And so if I want to have sex with a 7-year-old, I can do it. If I want to fondle a baby, I can do it. That's what this is. That's what it is.
If you there's a video out, and you can pull this up on YouTube. It's a video, it's an hour long. I would suggest everybody watches it, because something happened this past weekend, or the last time we spoke, that last time we had that program, when we had JM Hotep on it, and the things you said to him just made him do a complete 180. So this brother was coming in saying he was JM Hotep. I hope he comes back on. And so Lisa asked him, well, why are you using Hotep? That's not us. This brother immediately changed his name. He got out of that African stuff, that Egyptian stuff, and start recognizing that he's from here. He did that in less than a week. So
Free Hawk.
Free Hawk. Free Hawk. I mean, and so that's how I know everything isn't all, what's being told to us. If we really start thinking and really start looking out for ourselves, the best for ourselves, because the only people who's going to make this better for ourselves is us. Nobody's going to come along and save the poor Negro. We're going to do it ourselves. Nobody's trying to help us, and many of us are trying to help them. So, the whole LGBT thing with this guy trying to be on Dave, and this dude is the one who calls the shot for the programs that Negroes are on TV. See, that's a problem. You're not going to none of these white shows and trying to be them and tell them what to do. You're not doing it. And that's a problem that we have. All these people can come tell us what to do, and we just supposed to be, well, you're gonna let me do it. I guess I do it. No, these people are trying to tell you how to speak, how to walk, how to move your head, all that stuff. And many of us, we cool with it. We'll act like that to get in those positions. And and that's the part I'm saying about Dave Chappelle. Yeah, the brother's right. There's no Malcolm X said it. You don't follow no baseball stars and no actors and comedian stuff. You don't do that. You want the people who think normal. And like the sister on here said, she said Dave Chappelle's not even married to a sister. What do you say about that?
Right. He's not. And not only that, I mean, if these people feel so strongly about what they feel, you got all this money. We got all these celebrities with all this money. Only time they care about something is if it affects their bottom line. You know what I mean? If they really cared about it, why don't they create their own streaming platform? Dave Chappelle could easily get together with a couple of other celebrities and create his own Netflix.
Right.
Why is he doing that? I mean, all he's doing is setting a foundation for his Blasian children, his Black, Asian, whatever they are, Black, Puerto Rican, I don't know what they are, but he's just setting a foundation for them. He is not setting a foundation for anything that's going to help any other indigenous people of this country. So I mean, what is he really doing? Okay, I mean, I like him, but he really is not. He's not really. He doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about us. I tell you that much. He doesn't care about us. He cares about saying what he wants to say. He cares about being able to do the comedy he wants to be able to do. But he doesn't really care about Indians. He doesn't care about our future. He doesn't care about our rights. He doesn't care about the copper colored Indian people. So I mean, if he did, like I said, put your money where your mouth is. You got people, you got friends, you got rich friends. You could do this. You can actually create your own streaming platform. Netflix is not the only thing that can do this. You think we're not capable of creating our own streaming platform? We can watch some movies, produce movies that we want to see, and watch movies that we want to see. Why not?
Well, I'm with JJ on this one. A lot of these people don't care for us. And we should know that by now. They're just trying to see what they have in our pocket. Like I got into it with this sister because she was talking about Shaq, is the CEO of some pizza place that call niggas. And my question to her was, this brother, with all the influence, with all the influence, with all the people he know. I'm sure he knows Magic Johnson and all these cats.
Right.
You guys can't come up with a pizza place, delivery place that just shuts down everybody, because you know when you do it, everybody gonna want what you got. That's why everybody's running over here.
Right.
But we like to cry and we can do whatever we want to do. So what? That's where we are. So I'm with JJ. It's our job to care about what we gonna do and not supporting these cats at all. At all.
No. I mean, yeah, we want to. They want our backing to keep their big checks. You know, Dave Chappelle wants our backing to keep him getting the big checks. But what is he doing with those big checks? Right? He wants the community to stand behind him. Money on Netflix and all these any other platform he does. We're always standing behind these guys, right? But when it comes to our issues, they go radio silent. When it comes to standing up and saying, you know, the copper-colored people are the landlords, and our land should be restored, they're radio silent. When it comes to talking about, you know, let's clear up all the fake history that's out here and correct the history in this country and stop lying, they're radio silent. But they want you all over their daggone needs. Anything that's affecting their paycheck, they want you to be all co-signing with them. Well, no, it should not work that way.
So this is what I mean about how we so twisted up in our community. Now check out what this dude says. You are what your father is. Doesn't matter what the mother is. So check this out. Isn't it the mother? Doesn't all of us come from our mother? We break off from the mother.
Yeah, and not only that, bro, like as father, maybe you don't know who your father really is. You know who your mother really is, but daddy could be the mailman or you know how they say the milkman, the mailman. You don't know. So you are who your father is, bro. That's a European concept. That's how they want to pass their wealth down. That's how they want to minimize the women. That's European. That is not indigenous. Like that doesn't work that way, bro. That's not it.
And so this is what we have. We have people like this, teachers. We have people like this who's football coaches, basketball coaches in the ear of your kids all the time. And this is what I'm saying. This is how we always get screwed up because we listen to idiots like this. Mama, you incubating your mama. Your mama passed down all the children that's gonna be had. The mother does that. And like she said, this is European thought, man. This is where we are. This is 2021, and this is where we are. And many people agree with him. I know the Hebrew Israelites say the same thing. Ain't that what they say? The man gives the seed and whatever. This is the kind of stuff we own. And this LGBT stuff, these are the kind of ideas they are pushing to the community now. We have JM Freehawk back. What's going on, homie?
Peace, family, peace.
What's going on, bro?
Lisa, peace. Oh, God.
Are you okay, JM?
Yes. Thank you, family, for allowing me the opportunity. And the opportunity for me and my wife to come out and be part of the summit. We really appreciated that greatly. And hopefully definitely next year, we'll have a whole lot more family members come out and be part of it because we raved about it. We let them know what they miss, and they will be there next year. So we're looking forward to that. But as far as the summit, I mean, as far as the topic goes, I see it as if we don't actually start doing what we really need to do, like Sister Lisa and Kerry is actually doing their full force on this, and everybody needs to be full force on this here. I saw a brother and sister today, and I talked to them about it because I noticed she was wearing her attire, and they told me they were Creek Indians, and these were young folks. They were in their late 20s, and I introduced them to the show because they weren't familiar with it. So I told them to chime in, and I'm pretty sure they would, and they said that they would. And we need to be stronger. Tell everybody, tell our kids. I tell my kids and my grandkids. They don't see it like that as of yet, but I'm staying on them constantly. Because I see it as a window. I came up when the window was open fully, back in the 60s. Now the window is getting closed, it's almost closed. And we're going to stick a stick in that to jam it up so it don't close all the way, and we're going to spring it back open. That's the plan. And that's what definitely we're going to have to do that. And we need everybody to chime in and do that because life is at stake. Our lives are at stake. And we are God's people. He put us here to be the caretakers of this earth. And he's going to definitely help us and make it possible so it doesn't happen. And when I say to those other people, those other folks, stay out of the sun. You know what I mean? Stay out of the sun because their time is coming and they know it. So therefore, we are the people of the sun. We are the people of the earth. And they know that. It's just that we have to wake up and really smell the coffee and know it ourselves. So I thank you for being introduced to y'all. And I love you, family. And we're going to make things pop.
Well, cool, Free Hog. I appreciate it. I'm taking your words. I'm going by your words. We not going out like that.
True that.
Okay, brother. Please don't be a stranger, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Thanks. So, what you think about that, Lise? We going out like that?
That's right. I agree with Free Hawk all the way. That's definitely we're not gonna go out like that. We cannot go out like that. We can't afford to miss this. Okay. There's no missing right now. Okay. We can't let anybody tell us what our agendas are. We can't let anybody tell us what's important. Number one importance is to protect the children. First of all, we can't be treating these men and grown folks like they babies in hot cars. We ain't got time to worry about babies in hot cars that are grown because we got real babies to protect. So the number one thing that we need to protect is our babies, okay? And all this over sexualized media is something that we need to protect our kids from. The babies and the grandbabies don't need to be exposed to anything other than a G-rated world. So they don't need to know about that shit.
But shouldn't we make that up for ourselves? Because we
have to create that. Yes, we have, and we have the ability also. Before there's even a media, we could create our own media platforms. You know what I mean? Like we could create our own stuff. That's easily done. We got talented people making dumb memes about you and me. I mean, people got the ability. You know what I mean? They got talent out there to do stuff, but they're using it for stupid, evil stuff. You know what I mean? You can make a daggone thumbnail about me and Carrie and or Phoenix, and you got all this time and talent, but you wasting it, stabbing, throwing darts, throwing daggone, shooting guns at your own people. What the hell's wrong with you? If you really have this talent, why aren't you using it to fortify the information for the kids, to educate the children? What are you doing taking shots at indigenous people that are doing the right thing? You don't even know. First of all, why are people even doing that and they don't even know nobody? You don't know me. You don't know Carrie. You don't know daggone Phoenix. You know what I mean? I can tell you for a fact things about people that are who are running their mouths. Okay, I can tell you facts. Okay, because I've met people. Okay, I'm not just talking. I've seen them in their face. I've broken bread with these people. I've seen these people, okay? So I'm not just talking out of somebody I don't know. I would never dare to go and write anything up or put anything out there about somebody who I've never even been in the presence of, don't know nothing about this person. I mean, what's wrong with you? Get your shit together. So first of all, we need to be using the talents that we have to do positive things, especially for the children. Running around making up thumbnails and memes and all this stuff about people who you shouldn't even be doing that to, because what is the point? tearing each other down, you must be a government agent. Anybody that's spending all their time and energy and talent to tear another Indian down, gotta be some kind of government agent, some kind of Moor government agent, Muslim government agent. I don't know what kind of government agent, but you're not an indigenous Indian. I can tell you that for a fact. Okay, because no matter if I get upset as anything that Phoenix does, I've still got love for Phoenix. Okay, that's just the fact of the matter. Because you know why? Because if it's a kinship thing. Okay, it's a kinship thing, and if you don't understand it, you ain't no kin. If you don't understand that when you have a kinship, that there is a thing, you have forgiveness for your kin. You always gonna ride with your kin, okay? I don't care what they do. You might get mad at them. You might be disappointed by something, but you still are gonna ride with your kin. That's the way it is. And if you can't relate to it, you're some kind of predatory foreigner. That's what you are. You're a predatory foreigner. You're an immigrant. You're not even American. I guarantee all those people that are doing things like that are immigrants. Because you know why they do that kind of stuff? Trust and believe. When you see somebody talking really bad about other Indians on a regular basis, they're foreigners. They're immigrants. Because you know why? Because they're hating on the fact that we get together. They're hating on the fact that we have the right to actually get our land back. Because they're hating that we have real genealogy because they ain't got none. Because they're foreigners. So they got nothing to lose. So that's why they're out. They don't hesitate to cut an Indian down because they hating on the Indian. Because the Indian rules America. This is our land. And they hate that. So trust, and I want people to understand this fully. Anybody on this social media that you see actively cutting down American Indians and they claim to be Aboriginal or Indians, they are not. They are guaranteed to be immigrants. Guaranteed. And that you'll know it because they'll say, oh, I don't know anything about genealogy, but yet they want to cut down people who do genealogy. They don't do no genealogy themselves. They don't know their own background, but they want to cut down somebody who's doing genealogy. They are immigrants. They're foreigners. Trust that. Trust it. They don't know who they are. Or even better, they know who they are and they know they're foreigners.
So I'm just looking at some pictures. So my mother's here visiting, and she just bought pictures from the family. I mean, these weren't pictures. From, information from the family from the early 1800s.
Okay.
Early 1800s. And this is the only point I'm trying to get across. I know many of you out there hate what I say because the way I say it, but the reality is those people in the 1800s or 1700s, 1600, those are your ancestors. And how you turn your back on them, you're going to have to pay for that shit, dude. I don't care who you are. Don't care who you're trying to be or whatnot. You're put in a position where you could live today, and you were put in that position by your ancestors, and you just turn your back on them and just run into every other ideology that you can find and turn your back on that. I'm not talking to you guys because you can do what you want to do, but where are you leading your children? Where do you lead your children when you tell your children that you're Greek? When your children looks at you and they see a big old burn on your arm that has a Greek symbol on it, what are they thinking? What are we doing? And then try to act like we're doing something right. You don't see that you're cutting your own throat. And you will do it for money. The average Negro does everything for change. Isn't that what we're saying about Dave Chappelle? Aren't some people leery about what Dave Chappelle did because of his what he's been doing his whole career? Isn't Dave Chappelle teaching us something or trying to show us something? Isn't Kyrie Irving trying to show us something? These that cat is in his 20s. He's telling you I don't have to do that. And that we would argue and diss our own families and stuff because they're not doing it. What are we doing? So these type of things that happen, it happens all the time. Uh, in the Negro community in the 70s, they had a cat going around the communities in California saying he was God. Jim Jones took 1,000 Negroes down to South America and killed them. It wasn't a big, the Negro community, they didn't make a big stink about it because most of them do it. You follow ideologies that have nothing to do with you. And it's normally, they normally play the old role. They the poor Negroes and they the women and the older. Come on, y'all. We're not getting any smarter. We're not paying attention to what's going on to us, or we don't care. Come on, y'all. We got to do way better than that. Hey, we got JM Freehawk back. What's going on, homie?
And my wife just wanted to chime in, so I'm gonna let her speak. Please.
Listen, check this out. Let me tell you about this lady, his wife. So we're up in Virginia, right? And she started singing. Oh my God. And he's playing the guitar behind her, ripping it. So how you doing, love? I just wanted to say hi.
I'm doing well, Brother Carrie. And hi, Lisa. I'm still on the cloud from the great weekend that I had out there. We had out there in Virginia. It was just a wonderful, wonderful event. And I'm going to do things in my power to help make it bigger and better from my end. You have a friend right here with me. My husband was trying to convince me all along, but you know how that goes sometimes. You just want to be a little stubborn. But once I got there, I was like, wow, you took me to one of the best things I've been to in quite some time. And, I'm with it. But I was listening to the information that you were talking about with this sexuality and all of this stuff. And I did type some things in the chat. And what I said was they really are just trying to wipe us out with all of that. Like you say, two men can't make a baby, two women can't make a baby. However, one thing I do know is that in the LGBTQ community, that people are having children. Now, I don't know how they do it exactly, but I do know that they do that. But one thing that really disturbed me was in Texas, where they have now come up with this law, the anti-abortion law, which if it says that you cannot have an abortion, okay, that's fine. But you can't have it if you are raped by a family member or incest or any of that. That to me is a little outrageous. And it seems that these people who are doing that are just supporting that type of lifestyle. They want to have children with their children, and they want to, that people just take advantage of the women and rape them. It's totally disgusting.
Well, if you look at all of the religious ideologies, they're all about getting with young girls, all of them. That's why when I was saying earlier, check out, and you can see this on YouTube. It's a piece called "The Other Israel." You gotta see this, because these are the people who are trying to tell us what to do and how to live and stuff. In the other Israel, the Torah, which is the Bible for those people, they tell you it's cool to have sex with a 3-year-old girl.
Oh God, no. So
what do you think the Hebrew Israelites are thinking?
Listen, I have a granddaughter right now that's like 14, and she moved. Her mom is a part of that whole thing, And I think I'm going to go down there to get her because it's just outrageous. I'm thinking that that's why they moved down there so that they could support the type of lifestyle. And I think
Right.
it's totally disgusting. Young women like that should not be exposed to these types of things.
Right. And the cool thing about what Lisa accomplished this weekend is that something that we all can accomplish. We from all over this place. We from all over this place. You can do it. I can do it. And it would grow. It would expand exponentially
Yes.
because then this is and I don't know if you and your husband picked this up about up there with the Acamax. You get to realize that they come from the same people because they all look alike. So the people in Virginia, I'm not saying they look like the people in Mississippi or Alabama, but they look like the people. If you go back to older images of that time in Virginia,
Yes.
if you look at the
Uh-huh.
people today, they all kind of look like their family.
Uh-huh.
Yes, they
That's
do.
correct.
They
But
And
do.
we've been vehemently searching our ancestry on
mhm,
ancestry.com. Zena told us how to do it, so we've picked that up and going back and trying to get to the roots. I got back as far as 1863 with my great grandmother and JM Hawk went back as far as 1850 something, I
Yeah,
think.
50.
Yeah, in the 1850s with his family.
and you're just starting out with it, huh?
Yeah, just starting, just
Hmm.
starting. But
And you done,
I know about the native ancestry. But on my father's side, they always spoke about it. But my mother's side, they never did. But I'm sure they have it and just don't talk about it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
and you have to understand a lot of information is lost just in the 30 years. Like just in like 30 years. When we moved from New Jersey, the town that, we lived in was,
mm-hmm.
a third of it was copper colored people that migrated from Virginia but if you go through that town, Cranberry, now, you wouldn't know that there were that many copper colored people in that town when I grew up. You wouldn't even know it. So history
Hmm.
disappears really fast. That's what people
Well, that's
need to
right.
understand. So
But that's
so
the same thing like the Bronx. There were a lot of copper colored people here and when I
including my
grew up.
family. Yeah, because I was conceived in the Bronx. My family moved from the Bronx when I was a baby, when my mom was pregnant with me. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there were a lot of us in the Bronx as well. It's so we disappear. Our history, our evidence disappears so quickly, and then with the evidence disappears the people that talk about it too. So that's why a lot of the information of who we are gets lost so quickly. It's just like that. So when we took a cruise, because like on Friday, yesterday, we took a cruise, post summit cruise, which will probably, like we said, included in the experience for the summit next year. We cruised to
Yes.
Tangier Island, right? We took a cruise, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
island uh, is full of English speaking people. They speak a dialect that you hear nowhere else in the world. It's this pidgin English they speak. these
Mm-hmm.
uh, these inbred, they call them inbreds. That's what the Caucasians call them. But this because of Caucasian people that live on this island. Well, of course, the only historical placards on that island, the first thing they mention are the African Americans. Now they're using the
Mm-hmm.
term African Americans because these placards were placed there in 2014, so they're using that language. But
Hmm.
imagine this, that the old placards probably say Indian or colored or whatever else. They replaced them with African American to go along with the narrative, right? But
Right.
each one that I saw mentioned us being free African Americans on. So we were there, but you don't see
Yes.
them on the island now. You don't see us there now. Okay, but this
They've
but the
stolen the land. They've
Indians,
done paper
right?
genocide.
The Indians were everywhere. But this, my point is saying is that the people that come from there, where those people go? That's your people. These
Yeah.
people were people that come from Maryland, people that went to New York, people that went to Philadelphia, people that went to Delaware. Where did those people go that actually have ancestors that were on this island? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That might be your genealogy. Just that might be your island to find. That might be your homeland to claim. See, that's my point of being, is that there's so much out there that is untrue, and so much out there that's covered up, and so much out there that's lost. uh Kerry having his information go to early 1800s in Alabama. Do you know that's like
Mm-hmm.
that's insane? Because most likely the town that he's talking about his mamas and his people were in wasn't even a county in the early 1800s. So
Right.
that already shows his indigenous, his Indian status right there. It wasn't even
Yes.
a county. Alabama was not developed in no early 1800s. Are you kidding me? So the fact that he has information leading to his people at that time is tremendous. And
Yes.
let me tell you, talk about genealogy and how fast you and Jim got back. Most Caucasian people don't have any genealogy that they can go back on. They have a hard
Mhm.
time finding genealogy. And then if you do see a lot of them, if you start looking in their trees, a lot of them have trees. They have a family tree that they make up their history, but they don't have any records to go with it. Which means what? Which means that it has no. How are you saying that you were here, and you have no records to support it? Not none. So a lot of
No,
their
well,
trees,
first of all,
uh,
they're going to go back to Europe or to some other places, you know.
a lot of these people are their records don't their presence in America in fact doesn't start until the late 1800s. A lot of these
Yes.
white people claim that they were here in the early 1600s, just like that island. That's what I found fascinating, was when they read you on the tour, they tell you, oh yeah, Captain Smith was here and it started in 1600, but then where is your evidence that you were here from 1600 to the late 1800s? There's no evidence of European presence on that island. They don't even have old buildings. They don't have old tombstones. Where's your proof that you were here for those 200 years? It doesn't exist. So it's like they make up the fact that they were there those 200 years. We were
Yeah.
there those 200 years. You see, so see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So we have to start really doing some deep, investigation into what people are claiming, and how they're claiming they've been in the Americas. Because the truth is, what you find, the more you look in genealogy, is that these Europeans did not come in any numbers until the late 1800s. They were not here in any large
Hmm.
number, and all those 200 years until the late 1800s. After the Revolutionary War is when they came in any numbers. After that, okay. So
Hmm.
they want to claim this early presence. It's not even true. It's not even true. So yeah,
Well, they
I
they write the book.
you guys finding that stuff, that's very early, and that's very significant. And everybody needs to go find these little places all over the country, big places, little places that you all come from. This is your land. You
Yes.
have records that lead you and link you to this land. That's
Hmm.
why these people that don't know their genealogy, who are immigrants, who know that they're really immigrants, are angry. That's why they want to be you. That's why they're trying to pretend that you're us. They're us because they want to claim the things that we claim. They want to have what we have. They're haters. But the reality is, when you start looking and you can make your real claims, that's when the magic happens.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, that's for sure. Hmm. But another thing, was one, I don't know if you all looked, but on TV the other day they had the comic book where they were making Superman bisexual. What is that about?
But okay, well, that's
Listen,
uh,
our children are exposed to those comic books.
Yeah, but it's
It's
us exposing
I
them to it.
I used to
Seriously,
read them.
we shouldn't even have TVs in our house. This is what I'm saying. We're being attacked on different ways, and we're cool with it. We can't take in this stuff. We can't show this stuff to our children, and they're seeing it, and we complain about it later. No, that's upon us. We got to do better
Hmm.
than that. We can't feed our children what they feeding everybody on TV. Eventually,
Or in comic books for that matter. We
right?
have to watch what they're reading, and we have to watch the books that they're using in the schools. The books in the schools have to be changed. I believe David from Philadelphia, I don't know his indigenous name, but he's saying that we needed. Yeah, he was on the
Standing Rock.
panel. Say, what's the name?
Standing Rock.
Yeah, Danny Rock.
Standing Rock.
Standing Rock. Yes, yes. That, you know, we needed to go to the State Department, United States Department of Education, and speak to them about changing the curriculum and telling the truth, because they lied to us all through our lives.
I mean, so should we even be asking them for anything, or should we?
No, we're demanding. We're not asking. We're demanding.
I mean, shouldn't is it ever going to get to a point where we just say fuck it, we're going to do something else? Because nothing they give us works.
No, we're not asking them to give us anything. We're just telling them correct the misinformation that they've been sending around this country for decades and centuries. Stop it.
You think they
tell the damn truth. And if you can't tell the truth, we will.
When we gonna start that?
Now.
Okay.
Well, people need to start, like I said, people need to be creating their own content. We have all this energy to put together things that are tearing each other down. Why don't we use all that creativity and energy to build each other up and create some good content? I mean, it doesn't take that much. Shoot, there's an Acamax series of cartoons that they could, the kids can watch. Adults can watch it. Actually, it's not really necessarily a kid thing, but I mean, you have to create content, instead of just talking. People need to put their energy and their money where their mouths are, and get some things made as an alternative to people watching this stuff.
I agree. Well, you still have to have a group of people that's doing it, that has the time. You need to check each other, double check the facts and things, because I came home so excited, and I went out with two of my classmates yesterday, and I'm trying to tell them what I learned, and they rejected me. Really, they was like, well, no, that's not true. This ain't true, but I guess it's just their first exposure to the truth. And sometimes you've been lied to for so long, you just want to believe it. And then I asked them, well, your parents, where they from? Oh, from Florida. What tribe? They told me right away. Right away.
Well, a lot of people are scared.
Yeah.
A lot of people are scared. They don't even know why they're living. They don't even know what purpose they serve. They never
lady from Alabama.
They don't care to know. That's why they jump into all these other ideologies. They won't even get a grandmama and granddaddy the respect they deserve.
Right. I'm saying, what about your dad? I said, what about your dad? Where's your mother's from South Carolina, your father's from Florida. What tribes? They told me, right? Oh, wait. But yet they still talking about Africa.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We coming up at the hour and a half point. So, Mr. and Mrs. Freehawk, any last words?
Thank you so much. Just keep on doing what you're doing. You have our support here, and whatever we can do, to try to help move the cause forward, we will be doing it.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
And we'll be there, helping you too. So that's how.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Peace and sunshine.
All right.
Hi.
So you see, Lisa, all your good work. People getting it. Most of us don't. Most of us want to stay in that position that we've been in our whole life. But listen, if you saw, and the picture is going around, on the internet, especially in African American and African, the sheer beauty. I mean, it wasn't even like we was on Earth no more. You know how they say when they go to Mars or some other place, how the atmosphere changes and stuff. That's what it felt like up there.
Right.
I'm sure that's what it feels like in a lot of places that your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents come from. That's why you got to do your genealogy. Don't take what nobody else says. Follow your folks. That's the simplest thing you can do. And like Lisa always says, that's the most powerful thing you can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Lisa, give us your last word so I can call you and hear about the Tangiers trip.
Well, I just want to say to everybody that, we need to take an effort to not give consent to these people, to exposing our babies to this sort of thing. You need to voice your opposition to these cartoons and these images and this kind of practice being accepted in school. If you're putting your children in these schools, you're putting them in there, you need to take some sort of control over the fact that what is being done and what is being promoted to your children in these schools. Don't just blindly send your kids to school and act like, oh, well, they're getting educated. Because you know what education is. You know they're programming your child, right? So you need to take responsibility for the fact that I'm going to make sure I'm going to send written notice that no, I do not condone my child having this kind of information taught to them. Period. If you're not doing that, if you're not looking out for your children, your grandchildren, or whoever, to make sure that you are letting the board of, the school board know, the principals know that they are not allowed to just gung ho go for all what they know on your children's behalf. They're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to brainwash your children. For the most part, that's the most important thing you can do right now, is to make sure you're not consenting to the dismantling and destruction of your children, okay? If you're going to keep them in those schools. On another part, half of these people that have these youngsters that are finishing college and becoming teachers, why aren't we trying to get schools together? Why aren't we trying to get homeschool networks together? Why aren't we looking for alternatives to what is being done to us right now? We need to start trying to do for ourselves again. I need people to start thinking in that way. That's important. But like I said,
you see what's not doing that, where that's gotten us.
Yeah. We've lost so much by allowing ourselves to be consumed by this predatory culture that is dominating America. That's this immigrant predatory culture. We can't afford to be devoured by that culture anymore. Okay. We have to self-protect. We have to stop consenting. We have to tell them we're in opposition. We have to let that be known. It's okay. You cannot just be in opposition to yourself on your living room couch. You have to voice your opposition. You have to put it in writing. Okay. You have to put it in writing. Take the time to send an email. Take the time to send a letter. Write a note. Do something, but put it in writing. Do not be silent. Your silence is consenting. Your silence is consenting. Are you willing to consent to the molestation of your children? That's what I want to know. Are you willing to consent to that? Because your silence is consenting.
And remember this too. This is very important. Remember, you were a kid at one time, your damn self. You wouldn't want that to happen to you, now would you? Now would you?
In the past society, the conservative level of the country, of the world, was such that children were protected. I feel that it was a protected kind of state of being at that time. That no longer exists. They are really treating our preschoolers as adults. Everybody's fair game. Everybody is supposed to be fair game. That's what the energy and that's what the mandate is right now. We all are fair game. Babies don't matter.
All fair game.
All fair game. It doesn't matter. Your babies are sexual objects to these people. They're not even people, these entities. They are sexual objects to these entities. And fair game. They have their mask pretty much off now. They showing for what they know, and they going for what they know, because they know you're blind. You're numb. You're distracted. You're watching your daggone TikToks. You trying to be cute. You're doing all kinds of other things than care about what they're doing to your babies, what they're doing to the society. You consent to it all because you don't oppose, because you don't tell them no, because you don't send letters and you don't send notice. I need everybody to at least do that. Send letters, send notice, email. Make sure that you are showing that you are not consenting to the sexualization of your children or grandchildren. You don't consent. And all information is not for them. And all subject matter is not their subject matter. I'm so sorry, but you're not going to make it a part of the agenda for these kids. Say no. And in the meantime, start thinking about ways to do it ourselves. Stop acting like we got to be sucking on the tit of this daggone, government. That if they don't tell us, we can't do it. That if they don't make it, we can't use it. Everything they do, they took from us.
And everything that the government and everything that comes out the government titty is poison.
It's toxic.
So be aware of that. Lisa,
but why do we act like we have to have it? Dave Chappelle is doing for Dave Chappelle. He wants your backing because it's his pocket. He wants to keep his purse. He wants your backing for that. But when it comes to doing anything for us, what does he do for us? What has he done for us? What has he done for his community? Well, really, his community is a white community anyway, because he's a privileged, boule child. Let's be real about that. He talks about DC. He's not a DC person. He's a DC suburban boule. He's a DC suburban boule, and if I did the genealogy, he's probably a foreigner. I think he is. But he's a DC boule, and he doesn't relate to you. His life has nothing to do with your life. And yeah, I understand. Yeah, he's right about, these not being able to say anything about these LGBTQ. That's true. But look, he's looking out for himself. Understand that.
And that's the way the ball bounces. So it's going to have to be, are we just going to sit up and just watch what they do and whine and cry every time they come up with some stupid shit? Or are we going to stand up and say, no, we going this route? We got to come up. We got to maintain ourselves on the planet, y'all. And going with what these people's throwing us, and if we accept it, it won't be beneficial for us. So, Lisa, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And I want to thank all the people here listening to us, checking us out. Please come back. We on every week. Check us out. I want to thank for all of the super stickers you guys have sent. Appreciate it. Find your family. Go find out who your people are, where they from. What were you guys doing before all this mess started? When you find that out, when you know that, I'm talking about when you know it, you ain't got to guess, you ain't got to go ask nobody. When you know that you are on the soil, that you were created by America. It's like Rick Moon said, he don't call himself American because other people have hijacked that name. He calls himself America. That's what you are. And that's what everybody want to be. So look, we're going to see you guys a little later on in the week. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, and everybody have a good evening. Peace.